This is Mark Belton, SuperTraining.tv, Super Training Gym, the strongest gym in the West. Here we are doing some Cambered Bar Box Squats. The Cambered Bar helps to kind of place the center of gravity in a different fashion that a straight bar would. And it also takes a lot of stress off your shoulders. Here's Mr. Robot Pants going. You can also see that we have chains on there, chains and bands and things like that that you attach to the barbell, help to accommodate the resistance. The weight is heavier at the top. It's actually more of a gradual resistance would be a better way of actually thinking of it. As you're going up, there's more and more tension, more and more weight on the bar. Most of the time when we do these types of box squats, we do them in our gear. We do them in at least a pair of briefs. And we'll do, on some days, we'll do a max effort type movement. So you can use a box squat for a max effort movement, or you can use it for a dynamic effort movement. On this day, we do a little bit of a combo. End up doing a little bit of both. A lot of times when I do my dynamic work, I follow what I call the Thompson squat cycle, which is a method utilized by Thompson, a world record holder in the squat, or former world record holder in the squat, I should say. Someone came along and beat it, but he did squat over 1,200 pounds. And what he would do is he would do 5 strong sets of 2, 5 heavy sets of 2, and then he would add weight on every set for all 5 sets. Then when those 5 sets were completed, he would do some singles at that point. And that's kind of what I'm doing here. Look at my face turning purple. Here's Mr. Robot. Robot has been working really hard at trying to keep his belt a little bit more forward. He used to overextend and shift his hips back too much. And that can make it very difficult to come back up out of the squat. Some guys can squat like that. Some people have different overall body mechanics and they can do different things. Some people squat using their back, and some people squat more by using their hips. But you gotta figure out what works best for you. Also, when we're doing these squats, when you're doing a wide stance squat like this, you're trying to push outward against the floor so you don't get too forward on your knees. And you can see there I wrap my knees up. Those are my knee wraps. They're multi-purpose wraps from howmuchyoubench.net. It's something I utilize a lot in training just to handle a little bit more weight towards the end of the workout. Figure why take the risk, why hurt something when I have it wrapped up a little bit. And then also it helps you lift a little bit more weight. They're very small knee wraps, so in comparison to a regular length knee wrap. But coming soon, I got some knee wraps on the way. Some 2 meter and 2.5. They'll be made out of the same material as the wrist wraps are made out of. So that was me and Mr. Robot Pants doing some squats. And now you have the pleasure of watching us do some deadlifts. So you can see we have some band tension on there. That band tension is about 200 pounds of band tension. And so these weights got heavy real fast. You can see my boy, Mr. Robot Pants, is wearing a knee wrap around his leg. He's been having some hammy issues. Hasn't been able to solve them. It's really been bugging him a lot. That's 5 plates right there that he just did, I believe. And notice we're also using straps. And kind of the reason for that is just to put more stress on the lower back and build more strength in the lower back. Here I'm going with 6 plates, and I decided to do it for a Debbie. That's pretty brutal. The straps, I'm really a big fan of the straps, especially considering the fact, and here's Robot going for a good one. He's got about 5 plates on there, and I think he's got a dime. So 515, and plus about 200. So it's possibly around 7 at the top. This is very difficult for me to do. This is a kind of wider stance sumo pull, and especially for me, raw, trying to go even that wide really just kills my hips. I've had just a weird hip thing going on for the last couple years. I don't know if it's genetic or what, but my dad's got a bum hip, and so does my brother, so it's quite possible. But anyway, I just worked through it. And so I decided to do this exercise because A, Mr. Robot Pants told me to, and B, I feel like if I can get more comfortable out wide, If I get more comfortable raw sumo, that I'll be more comfortable in my suit. A lot of times what you're trying to do in this sport is make yourself more comfortable and more familiar with being uncomfortable, because shit just hurts so bad. So we go up in weight a little bit on this, but nothing heavy. I think this is around 365 or so, pretty light. Might even be less than that. But, you know, we're also doing this for some repetitions. So it's a secondary movement. Whenever we do our secondary barbell movements, we try to utilize a little bit of repetition work. Trying to really get into those muscles, kind of isolate them. Almost a little bit like a bodybuilder would do, except for we utilize movements that are less of an isolation type movement. We're doing more, you know, barbell movements, more full range of motion work than some bodybuilders might do. But still, the intent is similar, and we're trying to do some repetitions, and we're trying to do multiple sets. A lot of times after this, the rest of the workout will be devoted to hypertrophy work and conditioning type stuff, where we're doing sets of 12, sets of 20, stuff like that. On various movements, could be a step up, could be a lunge, could be sled pulling, could be the reverse hyper, glute ham raise, ab work, and so on. See, now I'm starting to get a little bit more weight on there, getting warmed up, and now my hip feels a lot better. And this is very common for myself to do a conventional pull followed by a sumo pull, and I do also the reverse of that as well. If I have a good training session sumo, a lot of times I'll just switch to conventional and finish myself off, so to speak. The lockout becomes very difficult with these ultra-wide sumo deadlifts. Working the hips tremendously, and also obviously working the lower back. But it's also just going to teach you how to get in position. And you can see here as I'm going, if I pull my shoulders up high, the weights actually move halfway decent. But it's hard to pull your shoulders up high, because then you end up sitting back into it more, and you end up squatting it more, and it ends up killing your hips more. Actually, a good shot there by Jim McD. But also notice how we got the collars out there a little bit wider, so that some of the guys that squat a little wider, or I'm sorry, deadlift a little bit wider, won't drop the weights on their feet. I actually dropped around 605 on my foot before, and it was a horrible experience. Broke every toe. And here's Mr. Robot Pants finishing out. And that is it from supertraining.tv.